Good morning, students. Today our topic is force on the surface of a charged spherical conductor. We have to find out the force on the surface of a charged spherical conductor. When a charge is given to a conductor, it gets distributed uniformly along its surface. We know that when a charge is given to a conductor, it gets distributed uniformly along its surface. Now consider a sphere ABC having surface charge density sigma, and also consider that point P lies outside the sphere and Q lies inside the surface sphere, and Q lies inside the sphere and P lies outside the sphere, and it is shown in figure that, and this is the sphere and P point lies outside the sphere and Q point lies inside the sphere. The electric field at point P lies outside the sphere is given by E is equal to sigma upon epsilon naught. This is the electric field at the point P lies outside द स्फीयर. जो पॉइंट P स्फीयर के बाहर है उस पर इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड जो होगा वो कितना होगा, E इज इक्वल्स टू सिग्मा अपॉन एप्सिलॉन नॉट. इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इनसाइड द स्फीयर इज E is equals to 0. Electric field inside the sphere is E is equals to 0, and it is represented in the diagram. E is equals to 0 inside the sphere. Now at point P outside the sphere, electric field is EP is equals to E1 plus E2, and here E1 is electric field at P due to AB and E2 due to ACB. If we divide the sphere in two parts, first is AB and second is ACB, then the electric field at point P is given by EP is equals to E1 plus E2, and the resultant field E is equals to sigma upon epsilon naught n cap. Electric field at point Q, which is inside the sphere, the electric field at point Q is given by EQ is equals to E1 days plus E2 days is equals to 0, because inside the sphere electric field is equal to 0. So we can write E2 days is equals to minus E1 days, and here E1 days and E2 days are electric field due to AB and ACB part of the sphere respectively, and this is represented in the diagram. E1 days is electric field at point Q due to part AB, and E2 days electric field at point Q due to part of the sphere ACB. Now P and Q are very close to AB and are symmetrical situated, so we can write E1 is equals to minus E1 days and E2 is equals to E2 days. Here E1 is equals to minus E1 days because at point P because the directions of E1 days and E1 are opposite at points P and Q, because the directions of electric fields E1 and E1 days at point P and Q respectively are opposite. So we can write E1 is equals to minus E1 days, and the directions of electric fields E2 and E2 days are in the same direction at point P and Q. E2 and E2 days at points P and Q are in the same directions. So we can write E1 is equals to minus E1 days, E2 is equals to E2 days, and from the equations 3 and 4 we can write E1 is equals to E2. Now if we put value in equation 2, then we get EP is equals to E1 plus E2 is equals to twice E2 is equals to sigma upon epsilon naught n cap, and finally we get twice E2 is equals to sigma upon epsilon naught and E2 is equal to sigma upon twice epsilon naught. The electric field due to element ACB of sphere. E2 is the electric field due to element ACB of the sphere, and E2 is equals to sigma upon twice epsilon naught. If sigma is surface charge density and charge on AB is dq and surface area is dA, then dq by dA is equals to sigma. dq by dA is equals to sigma, so we can write dq is equals to sigma dA. Electric field E2 of ACB exert a force on the element AB, and this force is given by dF is equals to dq into E2. We know that general formula for the force in the electric field, F is equals to Q into E. So by using this formula we can write dF is equals to dq into E2, and if we put the value of dq and E2, we get dF is equals to sigma square upon twice epsilon naught into dA, and electrical pressure on AB will be equal to P is equals to dP upon dA is equals to sigma square upon twice epsilon naught. Now we can write the electrical pressure in this form. P is equals to 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square, and total force on the charged sphere is given by F is equals to surface integral dF is equals to surface integral sigma square upon twice epsilon naught dA. If we put the value of surface integral dA, which is equal to 4 pi r square, then we get F is equals to twice pi sigma square r square upon epsilon naught Newton. This is the formula for force. Now differential form of Gauss law. We know that Gauss law is given by surface integral E dot ds is equals to summation q divided by epsilon naught. Surface integral E dot ds is equals to summation q divided by epsilon naught. If the charge is uniformly distributed in a surface having surface charge density rho, then charge enclosed by the surface is given by summation q is equals to volume integral rho dV. And if we put this value in above equation first, then we get surface integral E dot ds is equals to 1 upon epsilon naught volume integral rho dV, and this equation is known as integral form of Gauss law. And for finding the differential form of Gauss law, we use divergence theorem, which is given by surface integral E dot ds is equals to volume integral del dot E dV. If you put this value in above equation, then we get volume integral del dot E dV is equals to 1 upon epsilon naught volume integral rho dV. If we compare both the sides, then we get del dot E is equals to rho upon epsilon naught. Del dot E is equals to rho upon epsilon naught, and which is the differential form of Gauss law. This is the differential form of Gauss law.